What is up, ladies and gentlemen? How are you guys doing today? Welcome to another exciting episode of Talk Inside the Ring. If y'all are ready, once again, let's ring that bell and get into today's topic, ladies and gentlemen. As you all know, we just got done witnessing the show of immortals, the show among shows, Wrestlemania. We just got done with Wrestlemania 37. What a great show that was, and it put me in the holiday spirit of WrestleMania. Even though WrestleMania is now over, we are now on the road to WrestleMania Backlash and on our way to Summerslam as well. I decided, let's talk about my top 10 favorite wrestling matches of all time. These are matches that have stuck with me for quite a long time, and I was honestly trying to figure out what is going to be my top 10. I was debating, do I want to get something from All In? Do I want to give something from WrestleMania? Because I was just wanting to make sure that the video that I gave you all, it was something that the match really meant something to me, and it wasn't just me coming down from the WrestleMania high. But no, I finally got my number 10, and ladies and gentlemen, let's get this started.
Number 10.
My number 10 pick, Cesaro versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 37. Now, like I had said in the intro, I was really hesitant on putting a match from WrestleMania on this list because where I was just like, maybe this is just me coming off that WrestleMania high. But no, after going back and just rewatching this match a second time, it was a no-brainer. This match deserves to be in my top 10, ladies and gentlemen. So this match, what I believe is one of the only few matches, there were only a few matches that a lot of people say had the proper build-up. This one, to me, along with the Edge versus Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship match, I feel was kind of the only one of the few that had the proper build-up. And the fact of the matter is, let's just go ahead and just give these guys a round of applause because these two have such great chemistry with each other. You can tell that these two knew exactly what they wanted to do and how they were going to do it, and they had no doubts, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. These guys put on an amazing match. They had just great chemistry with each other, from being able to counter into each other's counters, from countering something into one of their other moves, or literally hitting each other with every single move they had in their arsenal, even having to create something new just to keep the other opponent down. This match had a perfect blend of touch and go between each person. With Seth Rollins and Cesaro, there was no imbalance. No one overshadowed the other. This was just a perfect blend of who's going to be hitting who. This was just a perfect blend all around, ladies and gentlemen. And the story in this match was great. You have Seth Rollins being like this really arrogant, cocky heel, being like, you know, Cesaro, you've never even had a singles match at WrestleMania. I have been WWE Champion at WrestleMania. I have been Universal Champion at WrestleMania. I have had many single matches at WrestleMania. You've never had a singles match at WrestleMania. You've never been a champion at WrestleMania. You've never held one of the big belts. Cesaro has been United States champion. He's been tag team champion numerous times. I do not know if he's actually been Intercontinental champion or not. He might have. If he has, good on him. But ladies and gentlemen, WWE is finally pulling the trigger on Cesaro, and what a great way to do it at the show of immortals, WrestleMania. Giving Cesaro this win, it was great. How he was able to just reverse and put Seth Rollins in the swing and the neutralizer, and the fact that WWE actually built up the swing. They made you want to see it more. Oh, he's going to get Seth Rollins in the swing. Nope, he reversed it. Oh, he might get him this time. Nope, he reversed it again. They built up this move so much, it made you want to see him put Seth Rollins in that swing even more. It was great. And when they finally pulled the trigger and he gave that swing, he broke his own swinging record, 23 swings, and even putting him in a new move I had never seen before, the UFO. He didn't spin Seth Rollins with his hands or with his arms. He just spun around with him on his neck. It was great. This match has something special in my heart. The story was great. The chemistry was amazing. Everything in this match was great. It is something I would say, in my honest opinion, this might be match of night one for me, maybe. It was either a tie with that or Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks for the Women's Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, I strongly recommend you go back and you watch this match, or if you've not seen it yet, go watch WrestleMania 37. It actually wasn't a bad show overall. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my number 10. Now let's get started with number 9.
Number 9.
So now we're going to talk about my number 9 pick for my favorite wrestling matches of all time. Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston, Full Gear 2020. the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, an I Quit match. Now, I'm a big fan of AEW. Shoot, as you can see, I got the shirt. In all honesty, I pretty much adore almost anything AEW, but I love the matches that Jon Moxley has. He's really upped his game from how he was in the WWE to what he is now. And the thing that just made this match so good was the story. The story itself about this match, how you have two friends, practically brothers, who went into the independent scene together, and they made a name for themselves, not only in the independent scene, but in the individual companies that they went to. I don't know where Eddie Kingston went, but we all know Jon Moxley went to WWE. He even did a little bit of work in Impact Wrestling, but Eddie Kingston has always been in the independent scene. You've had these two guys who've made a name for themselves in the independent circuit, and now we have these two best friends, practically brothers, coming blow to blow for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship in an I Quit match. The fact of the matter is, they tell such a good story of the fact that neither of these two guys want to hurt each other. Jon Moxley is like, look, I promised I was always going to protect you, look out for you. You promised your mom that you were going to bring this championship back. You made a champion, you made a promise you can't keep because you're not going to win. You're going to lose. And the fact of the matter is that, like, every single time that these guys are about to do something really heinous to each other, they're like, just give it up. Just stop. Don't make me do this. I don't want to do this. That is what drove this match home. The chemistry one that these two had, they made it look like this isn't just a wrestling match. This is a brawl. This is a fight. From them using chairs on each other, the barbed wire, which is Jon Moxley's favorite thing. I forgot how much watching this match hurt me because of the fact that you have Eddie Kingston not only putting Jon Moxley into thumbtacks with a Uranagi, also rubbing alcohol and basically being like, okay, John, do you quit? No, okay, fine. I'll just do whatever I have to do. Every single person was like, okay, do you quit? All right, well then I gotta do something else to you. And like, you can just tell they don't want to do this. They sell it really well. It is a good storytelling match. These two did a great job telling the story in that ring. Just made this match all the better. And they also did a good job to make this match very disturbing and painful to look at, which is why this match is my number 9 in this part of this list. Just great storytelling. This match not only is, violence and wrestling and weapons, but it's good storytelling.
Number 8.
Number 8. CM Punk versus John Morrison for the ECW Championship, September 4th, 2007. ECW. This, honestly, is my favorite CM Punk match. Hands down, this is my favorite CM Punk match. I was already a CM Punk fan at this time. And, I remember watching the Monday Night Raw after the pay-per-view Vengeance in 2007, where we had seen that John Morrison had become the new, as Joey Styles said,
the new kingpin of ECW.
After I had seen that John Morrison became the ECW champion, I was like, well, what the heck happened to Chris Benoit? And then, of course, we all know what happened to Chris Benoit. But like, I was really pumped. I was wondering, like, ooh, I wonder, like, who's going to win between CM Punk and Chris Benoit. And, sadly, we all know what happened. But anyway, so John Morrison had become the ECW champion. And he was a fighting champion. He wasn't like, oh, now that I'm the champion, I'm going to be this cowardly heel. No, he was, I will take on all comers. Like, he did a promo where he was talking about, like, all the stuff he had achieved back in his past and the stuff that he's achieved in the WWE and how he's going to go on and be a good ECW champion. And he was not afraid to take on any comers at all, even though he kept facing CM Punk time after time. And this match was CM Punk's final chance to become the ECW World Heavyweight Champion. His final opportunity. And this, honestly, nothing else can be said. You have these two wrestlers who had multiple matches against each other. They know each other. So the question is, what is CM Punk going to do? How is CM Punk going to overcome the odds to become ECW champion? What else is he going to do? Is he going to bust out some new tricks? How is he going to stay one step ahead of John Morrison? Is John Morrison going to just easily crush CM Punk? Because he said after the Fatal 4-Way to determine who would be the number 1 contender for the ECW championship, he said, all right, Armando Estrada said, all right, this is your last chance. if you lose, you will never be able to compete for the ECW Championship again. They never specified if he could never compete for the ECW Championship again, like completely, or as long as John Morrison was champion. I just assumed it was as long as John Morrison was champion, he could never challenge him for the championship again. You know, kind of like with Batista and Edge, I believe at that same pay-per-view, Vengeance. But anyways, we have this match. We have these two wrestlers who know each other so well. And like, you know, this is kind of like a walk in the park for John Morrison. So I already know how Punk works. I already know how I can beat him. And then, you know, you see Punk's able to get the upper hand. That makes it for a great story. These two have really good chemistry. They're like, all right, they already know what we can do. So let's just have fun with it. And they do have fun with it. Like, you know, you even see John Morrison capitalize on some of the stuff that Punk does. From him going up to the turnbuckle, him slamming him down, to like, you know, him just being able to one-up him one after the other, because these two have faced each other so many times, they know what the other is capable of, and that makes it for an interesting match. You have no idea who the heck is going to walk away as champion, and the ending makes all the difference. What a great way to end the match, to end this feud, and to go on to the future.
Number 7.
So, number 7. Triple H versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 27. This match actually felt like one of the times the streak actually was in danger. Because, like, throughout this whole entire series, from the very first time Shawn Michaels fought The Undertaker to the second time due to his retirement, and then you have Triple H at WrestleMania and him at WrestleMania 27 and 28, all four of these matches were the only few times it ever actually felt like, ooh, could the streak be broken? And what helped that, once again, like I said, with a lot of these matches, is the storytelling and the chemistry. It helped the fact that both Shawn Michaels and Triple H had worked with The Undertaker so well, so many times, that there was no doubt these matches were going to be great. And Triple H had fought Undertaker at WrestleMania one time before. But what made this match so good was, once again, the storytelling. You know, like, once Shawn Michaels thought he couldn't face Undertaker at WrestleMania and beat him, Triple H came out and he said, I don't think you can beat him. I know you can beat him. And then you have, unfortunately, what happened. Shawn Michaels lost to The Undertaker and had to retire. And then, like, you have Triple H coming back and challenging The Undertaker for redemption for Shawn Michaels. He's doing this for his friend. He's doing this to try to achieve what he couldn't achieve for him. He's doing this for Shawn Michaels. And this match, like, you know, everybody was like talking about, like, you know, how each person coming blow to blow, what it's going to be like. And they were talking especially about, like, how Triple H, you know, he can be like this, like, you know, this funny guy. He has like these many sides. He's funny. He loves what he does, but then there's also that one other part of him, the cerebral assassin. And they talk about, like, what he'll do to win a match. Like, they really go in depth, and like they treat this like it's a real legit fight. And it was just so good. The publicity was great, and not only that, the publicity after the match was great. Because, like, even after, like, we know what happened, we know who broke the streak. The publicity after the match, like, they make you feel like, holy crap, Triple H may actually be one of the few people who could have broken the streak. Because that epic moment when Triple H hits Undertaker with the tombstone pile driver and has the tongue out and going 1, 2, and he kicks out, everybody's like, whoa, what the heck? Undertaker almost lost. The way, like, how they built up this match and how they talked about it before and after was great. The chemistry between these two, once again, was great because you have Triple H taking the fight to Undertaker. Triple H is doing anything he can to beat The Undertaker, and The Undertaker's trying to do everything he can to beat Triple H, and neither man wants to give up. And how they end the match was, you know, it wasn't due to a pinfall. It was the fact that Undertaker busted out that new submission, and Triple H almost got him with the sledgehammer, and Triple H was able to sell that he was trying to fight so dang hard, but he just couldn't do it, and he ended up tapping out to The Undertaker. Such a good match. I honestly cannot tell you how many times I've watched this. This is actually one of my favorite Undertaker versus anybody at WrestleMania matches of all time. Just like, you know, seeing like how they were actually building up that, holy crap, this actually might happen this time. Triple H may be the one who beats The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And they also not only talked about what Triple H is like, but how Undertaker at WrestleMania, he's something else. He's not human. He is just this otherworldly thing. Like, something about WrestleMania makes him harder to beat. And if any of you have ever played WWE 2K14, you know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to fighting Undertaker at WrestleMania and trying to beat the streak. And that's why this match is on this list, because of how legendary it is now and how legendary it's going to be later down the line.
Number 6.
So now we come to number 6. We're almost halfway there. So my number 6. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam in 2014. I keep wanting to say 2015. 2014. Holy crap. I can tell you there's 2 matches on this list that whenever I'm feeling like, down and out and I'm not really into wrestling, 2 matches can get me back into the mood of professional wrestling, and this match is one of those matches. The other matches on this list too. But I remember it was me and my friends. It was me, Dustin, Ship, I think Bueno was there, and my friend Judson, and maybe Ron. We were watching SummerSlam, and we get to John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. John Cena had become the unified WWE World Heavyweight Champion. They were using the 2 belts at the time. And then we get Brock Lesnar, and I don't remember the publicity about this. I don't remember any of the promos, but John Cena had fought Brock Lesnar once before, and this time was just something else. When you're so used, back then we were so used to seeing John Cena, the be-all, end-all, the one who never gave up, who never tapped out. Literally, he never tapped out ever. To beating everybody, to going over all the time. He was able to best everybody he worked with. And then Brock Lesnar came back. And then they fought each other in 2015, and when you see Cena being able to, do some really impressive things, giving the AA to people like The Big Show or Kane, or just being able to take down the entire Nexus by himself, my reaction to this match every time I watch it is just, wow. It's a good laugh. You're so used to seeing Cena be the one to take it to everybody else. You see somebody take it to John Cena, and then you see John Cena try to do something, and then Brock Lesnar's just like, that was your one time. And now you're going to pay. I tell you, every time I'm feeling down, all I have to do is just go on now Peacock, or shoot, I can even find this on YouTube. Go watch this match on YouTube. It somewhat hurts. You start to feel bad for what happens to John Cena. This match is what actually introduced the legendary Suplex City trend, because it was when he suplexed John Cena 16 times. It became a trend, and that became what Brock Lesnar would do, like with Kurt Angle with the 3 German suplexes, and the late Eddie Guerrero with the triple suplexes. This just became a thing, and every match afterwards, Brock would suplex people, and the fans would be counting every single suplex. So this match is obviously going on this list because it's just something I cannot... It's like a train wreck. You can't look away, but yet you want to keep watching. I know I shouldn't watch this, but I just can't stop. That's what makes this match so fun, and it's just interesting to watch.
Number 5.
Number 5. My number 5. CM Punk versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 29. So, as you can see, there might be a little bit of a theme. CM Punk is on this list quite a bit. I may even end up doing my favorite CM Punk matches. Let me know in the comments below if you would actually like me to do that. I would love to do that. It might take some time, but I would love to do it. Okay, so this match, when they were starting to do the promos of this was around the time the Summer of Punk, I think, had ended, or it was around the time he was already a heel, and they gave him the Undertaker. And I've heard his podcast on when he fought the Undertaker. But anyways, I didn't get to see this match when it premiered because I wasn't buying pay-per-views, and it was around the summertime. No, did I see this match? I can't remember if I've seen this match when it came out or not. But the fact of the matter is, when it came out, I had heard about it. And there were a lot of rumors that actually CM Punk was going to be the one to break the streak. They were really hitting over the head with the rumors CM Punk is going to be the one to break the streak. And there's even a spot in this match involving the urn that a lot of people were, or at least one of my friends was telling me that was supposed to break the streak. They were doing this whole entire angle of, especially on the passing of Paul Bearer. I think the original plan might have been for CM Punk to win, but after Paul Bearer passed away, they decided to give the win back to The Undertaker. But You know, this was one of the very few times I had ever seen anybody really play mind games with The Undertaker. You know, you had CM Punk. I remember the promos. I remember the package for this match. I remember CM Punk mocking The Undertaker, like messing with the urn, you know, like mocking Paul Bearer's death, you know, mimicking Paul Bearer. And like, you know, like actually playing mind games with The Undertaker. And I have never ever seen anybody really play mind games with him or try to get into his head. You know, maybe not since, you know, they debuted Kane and everything like that and really getting into his head. Or, you know, Kane turning on him. Okay, so there's been a couple people, but the fact of the matter is, during this match, CM Punk wasn't trying to beat him physically. He was trying to beat him mentally. And the way how they had him do it was great. You know, they even had CM Punk in his WrestleMania attire. It was him mimicking Undertaker's old WrestleMania attire. It was like the gray and the purple, and it was really good. It was a really kind of like a classic feeling. But, you know, you had CM Punk, like, actually doing Undertaker's moves. You had CM Punk, like, you know, doing the old school. You had CM Punk trying to do a bunch of Undertaker's moves to get in his head. You know, like, what a better way to win a victory than with someone else's own move style. And it was a really nice change of pace. And yeah, Undertaker won. We all know who broke the streak. But I honestly really enjoyed this match. It was nice to see somebody take on Undertaker, you know, psychologically. And, you know, like, just really try to mess with him to get in his head to, like, you know, get the upper edge. And CM Punk was great in those promos. CM Punk did a great job. They both did a great job making this match, you know, mean something. And a lot of people really thought this was going to be the end of the streak. I might have a list of matches that I watched to get back into the feed of wrestling. And, of course, you all know John Cena versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2014 is on that list. This one is on this list as well. I might even make that list. If that's another list that you all want, let me know. But, yeah. That's why this is my number 5. It was a really good match to, you know, see Undertaker be taken to the challenge psychologically, where he's the one who's always playing the mind games, you know, like with the Druids and, like, you know, the Rest in Peace. It was kind of nice to see somebody else take that to Undertaker and see what he does, and that is why that is my number 5.
Number 4.
Alright, now it's time for my number 4. CM Punk versus John Cena, Money in the Bank 2011. A lot of you are probably like, Nick, why is CM Punk on this list so much? I honestly just noticed that CM Punk is on this list a lot. But the fact of the matter is, I love CM Punk. He was like one of my favorite wrestlers back then. It sucks that he doesn't wrestle now, but, you know, it's whatever. So, CM Punk versus John Cena, I feel like it's my generation's Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart. I believe that was at WrestleMania or SummerSlam, but, like, you know, the Montreal Screwjob. I feel like this is kind of my generation's Montreal Screwjob, just there was no Screwjob. This match, like, I remember because, like, I used to have the CM Punk documentary. And, you know, he was talking like how one day they just said to him, here, take this microphone, say whatever the heck you want. And he did not skip a beat. When the Summer of Punk, you know, kind of started, you know, like we got that infamous pipe bomb promo. And he's tired of everybody talking about the pipe bomb. But, you know, like, you know, what else can you say? He went off script. He said whatever the heck he wanted, and he didn't care. They were really building it up like he was going to leave WWE with the WWE Championship. You know, like he talked in his pipe bomb, you know, the threats about, you know, maybe I'll go to New Japan, or maybe I'll go back to Ring of Honor. You know, I'll take this championship with me. And he was talking about how, you know, there was someone, he's a Paul Heyman guy, and someone else was a Paul Heyman guy, Brock Lesnar, but the difference is he's going to be walking out with the WWE Championship, and the fact of the matter is, he freaking did. But, like, what was great about this was, like, you know, how CM Punk was like, you know, I'm the voice of the voiceless. I am tired of John Cena always being the top guy. You know, I don't like this idea of John Cena, you know, you saying that you're the best. I'm the best. I've been the best ever since I walked in this building from day one. And, you know, him bringing up a bunch of other stuff. You know, about, like, how they took, you know, like, the Straight Edge Society, which was CM Punk's entire idea. He wrote that entire thing. And, you know, like, he was talking about how, they used it where Punk was like, you know, saying to Vince, like, you know, you got rid of all these people. I'm the voice of the voiceless. You know, I want my face on those promos. I want to be in movies. I want to bring back the WWE ice cream bars. I just made you $1 million on ice cream bars. This is one of the most infamous promos in WWE history, and it is never going to go away. No matter how many times WWE tried to get rid of CM Punk after he left, the fans still cheered for him. They still want CM Punk back. Heck, I still want CM Punk back. CM Punk had great matches. And, like, you know, the match between him and John Cena is no different. You know, like, this was basically John Cena versus RVD 2, where if you all go on, you probably can't watch it on the Peacock Network, because Peacock is, like, you know, basically making WWE very friendly. You will probably not find, you'd probably have to go and watch this on the internet. But, you know, like when John Cena was fighting RVD at One Night Stand 2 in 2006, I believe, the audience was basically saying, if Cena loses, we riot. And it was the exact same thing here. The fans in Chicago, it was in Chicago, Illinois, CM Punk, you know, like this was before he changed his theme song to Cult of Personality. And, like, you could see, like, the audience, like, you know, like, had the signs, and, like, you know, like, if CM Punk loses, we riot. And, like, the way, like, how they were doing the match, like, it looked like CM Punk was going to lose, and, like, you know, they had them trying to do the Montreal Screwjob again when Vince McMahon comes out with John Laurinaitis to, like, you know, freaking get the match over with, like, you know, like, to disqualify Punk or whatever, and John Cena comes out and trying to be the good guy, be like, no, I'm going to do this my way. And after he does that, Punk won, and, you know, they tried to do the whole get Alberto Del Rio out here because he had money in the bank at the time. And so, you know, you just see CM Punk, like, he runs through the crowd. He has the WWE Championship. He's on top of the stage. Or, like, he's on the barricade. And he literally kisses Vince McMahon goodbye with the WWE Championship in hand. And he runs up the stage, leaving the WWE with the championship. And they actually had signed him back to the WWE before the match actually started. I actually just learned that watching the YouTube channel Wrestling Premiere. Go check out his content. He does a very good job. But yeah, like, this match was kind of like a milestone in history for, I feel like, my generation. This was our Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, Montreal Screwjob type deal. And it's something that's never going to go away. It's going to be remembered forever. This match was so good. It had such a good story behind it. CM Punk and John Cena worked really well together with their chemistry. They knew what to do in the ring, and they told a really good story. And this is honestly probably one of my favorite CM Punk matches, if not my favorite. Well, I don't know if it's my favorite. That might be something I do. But yeah, that's why this match is on this list. It is unanimous that this is one of the most important moments in wrestling history. And it is something that should not be forgotten, because the CM Punk, the fans of CM Punk live on, and hopefully he comes back to wrestling. This match will live on in history.
Number 3.
All right, now we're in the top 3. All right, so my number 3, my favorite wrestling match of all time, my third favorite wrestling match of all time, Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, NXT TakeOver Toronto. 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. You know, when I was doing pro wrestling at the time, and I was actually doing it, I learned a lot. One of the things that they said was, when 2 wrestlers have such good chemistry with each other, they don't even have to get themselves prepared for the match. They can just go out there, and because they know each other so well, they can just make things up on the fly, and they can make it look flawless. Take example, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole. These two knew each other's background. They knew what they were going to do, and, like, you can tell these two have such good chemistry. They can tell someone is going to do something, and then they already have a reversal for it. This match was so much fun to watch. It's almost an hour long, but trust me, it is worth it. For the first 2 out of 3 falls, this was a really good build-up for the championship, for the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. And we know what can happen when someone is obsessed with the gold. Because when, you know, you have that first taste of gold, you'll do almost anything to get that gold back. But yeah, Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, 2 out of 3 falls match. First, a normal wrestling match. You know, like, they were starting to debate, could Adam Cole actually, or could Johnny Gargano, or either one of them, could they beat the other? They were wanting so desperately to just go on ahead and get to the non-disqualification match. Johnny Gargano freaking gave up his first win to get to the non-disqualification part, to the non-disqualification match. There's actually a freaking moment when Johnny Gargano is sitting in a chair after he had just whacked Adam Cole with the chair, and the announcer says, "It is now time for the no disqualification match. Weapons can be used." Adam Cole is on the mat, and he has this look on his face like, oh crap, he can beat me with items. Forget that. And, like, he just has, like, this look on his face like, oh, dang it. And it just went on from there. It got really good. We got some really good moments with the chair. Johnny Gargano using his submission tactics with the items of a chair to get the win. And then we have the steel cage match with weapons. Holy crap, this thing was a spot fest. It was just so much fun to watch. There was one move that my coaches always told me they were never going to teach us. The Canadian Destroyer. I don't know if my editor can actually put a video of a Canadian Destroyer. Please try your best, because I think the fans deserve to see this.
Here comes Petey Williams for the third time. He's got him loaded. Canadian Destroyer.
But what a great way, what a great match, what a great everything. This match had a really good story. This match felt like this match and this story felt like it was earned. It wasn't just given to us. You know, like, unfortunately, I'll just go ahead and say, I don't really like how WWE has Hell in a Cell as its own pay-per-view. It's not built up properly. This type of match, this setup, it feels like it belongs. The whole, like, you know, the rivalry over the NXT World Championship, the World Championship of NXT, of their division. That's what this is about. And it feels like this type of match. There's nowhere else to go. After this is the be-all, end-all. After this, we will never wrestle again. We will never have you two face each other off for a long time. This feels like this type of match has been earned. And boy, oh boy, do these two make sure they don't miss a beat. Like I said, they have really good chemistry with each other. They've worked with each other for years in the independent scene. I don't really know if Johnny Gargano was in Ring of Honor, but I know Adam Cole was in Ring of Honor. And it just goes to show that when two people have really good chemistry, they can make anything work. No matter how much time they've had to prepare, or how long they've known each other, or whatever is in front of them, they were like, okay, we know how to work with each other. We can do this. And that clearly is shown here. Go watch this match, guys. This match is a lot of fun. That is why it is on my number 3 list.
Number 2.
Number 2. Alistair Black versus Johnny Gargano, NXT War Games 2, 2018. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, this match will never be forgotten, especially to me, because this match was, it took place during the time when I was trying to become a professional wrestler myself, and this was one of those matches that, like, when you see it, this is one of those things that inspires you to do something, whether you see, like, a movie that inspires you to become a writer, or, you know, like, you watch, like, one basketball game and it inspires you to want to go to try to get in the NBA, or something that you see inspires you to do something. And this match, it didn't inspire me, but it lit a fire under me. After watching this battle between Johnny Gargano and Alistair Black, I was like, I want to be able to go and put on great matches like that, because I'm telling you, this match is phenomenal. That's what I can say. This match is just absolutely phenomenal. The back and forth that these two men do in this match, who are known for their strikes, and especially Alistair Black with his mixed martial arts background, being able to put that in his repertoire and be able to deliver some sick moves, from his high knee, which is also something that Kenny Omega is known to do, to his freaking finishing move, the Black Mass, that spinning back kick, to just his acrobatics in general. It makes for a really good match. Both of these guys are known for their strikes, with Johnny Gargano being known for his super kick, and, you know, like, his spinning back kick, and his even the reverse Hurricane Rana, the reverse Rana, or whatever it's called. These two were just able to throw this together, and they were able to just make this match just so phenomenal. This is another one of those matches where if I want to get back into pro wrestling, I just gotta go back and watch this. This match is so much fun to watch. It's surprising. These two know how to work together really well. They knew what they could bring together from their repertoire. But, all right, you've done this, I've done this. Let's put this together. Let's give these fans something great to watch. Johnny Gargano playing that awesome heel. Once again, like, this is a really interesting story, because it somewhat is all about the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. They're basically showing Johnny Gargano wants to do anything he can to get to the NXT World Championship, and Alistair Black was in his way. He took out Alistair Black to try to get to Tommaso Ciampa, but then Alistair Black came back, and now we have this match. This has good timing. This has, like, some really good mind games with freaking Johnny Gargano doing what Alistair Black does, and Alistair Black just, like, crosses his legs and sits in the ring. He was doing stuff like that, trying to get into Alistair's head, and Alistair even did the exact same thing. He's like, come on, give me your best shot. And when Johnny was going for his best shot, Alistair was able to block it and turn it into something else. And I'm telling you, the way how this match ends, oh my gosh. It is something, every time I look at it, it is just sick. I'll tell you, Alistair Black really knows what he's doing. He really knows how to make those kicks look efficient, those spinning back kicks, his high knees, his punches, everything. This is an amazing match. Something that I will always go back and watch. Something that I recommend you go and watch. It's why it's my number 2. It is something that is never going to be forgotten anytime soon. This match definitely has its place in wrestling history.
Number 1.
My number 1. Anyone who can hear this music, you gotta know it involves my favorite wrestler in NXT, Sami Zayn. Ladies and gentlemen, my favorite wrestling match of all time comes from the year 2015, NXT Revolution. Sami Zayn versus Adrian Neville for the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. The very first time I ever seen this match, I remember it was a Sunday night. I remember I had just sit down and I was watching this pay-per-view after I came back from work, and just like, the story of how this was Sami Zayn's last chance to become NXT World Heavyweight Champion, to finally achieve his dream, the face of NXT. Will he be able to accomplish his goal, or will he lose once again and never be able to compete for the championship? This match, this is the greatest wrestling match, in my opinion, that I have ever seen. This was the wrestling match that inspired me to want to actually lace up a pair of boots and actually try to go get medically cleared so I could become a professional wrestler, because of the work that Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville were able to put on in that ring at Revolution 2015. This match has so many things going for it. The story alone, this was Sami Zayn's last chance, but it's also against his best friend, his former best friend, his former training partner. They used to ride together, and because this rivalry was so intense, they changed their training schedules. They wouldn't ride together, and it just came together for a final confrontation. And all the moves, almost a point of desperation for Sami Zayn. Adrian Neville trying to get himself either disqualified or embarrass Sami Zayn. Like, this match just had everything going for it. Sami Zayn literally pulling out all the stops to try to get the 1, 2, 3, and then even at that one point in desperation, you're wondering, will Sami Zayn pull the trigger? Will he take the NXT World Heavyweight Championship? Will he take the championship belt and just whack Adrian Neville across the face to become World Heavyweight Champion? You can see the desperation in Sami's eyes when he's wanting to do it. He's wanting to do anything he can to achieve his goal, but he knows that's not the way to do things. That is not the way to come out as a victor. And you know what? It paid off, because the ending of this match is amazing, because you have the entire NXT locker room coming out, putting Sami Zayn on their shoulders. I mean, it's just like this amazing moment that made it look like this is it. He's finally achieved his dream, and that lit a fire in me. That made me want to literally go to a pro wrestling school and try to become a professional wrestler. And I'm telling you, I'm going to get a little bit inspirational, or try to. Whatever your dreams are, if you work really hard, if you discipline yourself, you can really achieve it. Because even though I never got to have a pro wrestling match, I can at least say that I got medically cleared and I got to do some pro wrestling stuff. This is why this is my number 1. It's always going to have a special place in my heart, because it gave me the spark to try to do my dream. And that is why this match is number 1. This is why it means so much to me, and it always will. Guys, put in the comments below, what is your favorite wrestling matches? What is your number 1 favorite wrestling match? Why is it your favorite wrestling match? I want to know. Don't forget to hit my Patreon, my Instagram, my Twitter, and my Facebook, guys. I have had so much fun making this list. I'm sorry that's taken me a while to complete it, but this video will be up on YouTube soon. Hope you guys are having a good night and enjoying the summer. Hopefully the coronavirus is going to go away and we're going to be able to stop wearing the masks and stuff, guys. Hope y'all have a good night and stay phenomenal. Bye, guys.